Hi guys, back again with the hashtag Anastasia August. That is my hashtag, and you can colour along with me with this one, which I don't know what the picture is called, but it's the lady with the sort of stained glass window behind her, from Nocturnes. But you can colour any page from Anastasia's books, any of her books, dragon books, mermaid books, Mysteria, any single pages you've bought from her and printed out yourself, any of them you can colour. This we started and we did the skin, which ended up in 2 parts, and her hair, which ended up in 2 parts. Today I thought we would do her dress, and I've picked out for that the colours May green, earth green yellowish, permanent green olive, white, cream and ivory. Right, now I've sharpened my pencils up, so nice pointy points there. So we'll start off with the lightest one, which is the May green, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the band where there's the floral pattern. I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to do a very light coat. As you can see, I hold my pencil sort of in the middle so you don't go too dark. If you hold it at the middle or the end, you can't possibly go too dark. It is harder to control the further back you hold it, but that's something that you will get used to if you want to layer pencils. If you go straight in with heavy pressure, then that's not a problem for you. You can hold it wherever you like. But for layers, this is just how I like to do things. It's pretty quiet here at the minute. Zach's been out for a walk down to the fishing lakes and the local park, because we live in a village, or we actually live on the Norfolk Broads. Our village is on one of the Norfolk Broads, where people hire boats and they can, go for a holiday for a week or more on a boat or whatever, and sometimes they will just go for a day trip. I don't think you can hire boats where we actually are, but we are one of the stops where people can moor up and stop. And we've got 2 pubs, 3 pubs actually, if you count the ferry. We've also got a ferry which takes you from one side of Norfolk to sort of the other side. So we've got that as a pub down there as well. That's quite an expensive one, but it's quite a posh one. And we've got the other 2, which are normal pubs, and they also do food and things as well. So we've got fishing lakes that are right near the ferry as well. So we're in the middle of nowhere basically. If you look on a map, we are basically in the middle of nowhere, and to get to our village you have to go sort of through some other villages, and we are right at the very end basically, where if you look on a map we're sort of in the middle of nowhere. We sort of stick out in the middle of nowhere, but it's a really nice place to live, so yeah, we like it here. We will eventually, I suppose, have to move out of this house and into a smaller place. We will have to downsize into a bungalow, and we are going to try and stay in the same sort of area because we love it round here. So it's peaceful today. Zach's been out for a walk and he's come home and he's gone back to bed. As young people do, they sleep a lot. Mind you, having said that, this warm weather, it makes me very sleepy. I think also the strain of having Zach and having to deal with Zach and his problems, it makes me very drained and very tired. So I've not really been in the mood for doing much at all, to be honest. I've just been sort of very drained and tired myself. but I have been getting on with the stuff I need to sell on eBay, because when we do downsize, like I said, we moved from a 5-bedroom house into this one and we didn't get rid of anything. So I'm in the process of sort of trying to sell things to downsize, so when we do move, it's, you know, it's not going to be such a big job as it was when we moved in here. Because that, you know, we had lots and lots of help then, which we won't have this time. We had so much help, and it still took all day, and not just a couple of vans full. We had the biggest size lorry you can hire, and it was about, I think, 2 or 3 trips with that, and some trips with some smaller vans as well. So yeah, we had an awful lot of stuff, so there's a lot to get rid of. So busy, you know, I can't sleep. I do sometimes go to bed because, you know, with my arthritis and my ME and fibromyalgia, it makes me very tired anyway. So I don't have to do a lot, you know, to get tired. Sometimes, you know, I'll just have a shower and I'll be absolutely knackered after it, you know. And it's ridiculous that you can just have a shower and that just wears you out for the rest of the day. But hey ho, that's my lot, that's what I've been given in life, and I have to deal with it. So yeah, I have been having a lot of trouble with my hip lately. One of them is a lot worse than the other. Um, and Tim joyfully said yesterday when I was in a lot of pain, oh, he said, you've had the shoulder replacement, it'll be the hip replacement for you next. And I had to sort of agree with him, really. Not a nice thought, nothing I would look forward to, but, well, if it needs doing, it needs doing. So there, we've given it one light coat with the May green. Now I'm going to go in with the dark, which is permanent green olive. Now this one, I'm just going to go where the darkest lines are, which are here. If you hear any noise, sorry, it's very warm here today. I have got the kitchen window open. My neighbours have got her grandchildren round and they always play in the garden. She's got a hot tub and things. So if you hear any noise or shouting, I do apologise. But I have to have the window open because it is so warm here today. So we'll just put this in the really darkest places. Oh, we also had some, I don't know, it's that annoying news, I would say. We looked at that place for Zach the other day, and they said that they would let us know in 2 weeks because there was a lot of applicants for it. And in the afternoon there was a phone call from his community nurse saying that they didn't want him, which I wasn't surprised about, to be honest, because we had to obviously be honest and tell them why he'd, you know, left the places that he had been in before, and they didn't look very impressed when we said that, you know, he has anger issues and he has put holes in walls and things. So, and then also the community nurse advised us to call the office on Monday and speak to a duty officer, because Zach's social worker, we're not sure what's happened, but his social worker has either left or taken Zach off of his books or something. We don't really know at the moment, but Zach has no social worker at the moment. So happy days, he's the one that's supposed to be helping them to get somewhere to live. The problem with Zach is he's too fussy. There is a place available which they've said would be ideal for him. It's only a temporary place until he can get his own place somewhere. But it's not far over the, if you go over the ferry here, it's not far over that side of Norfolk. But Zach being Zach, I don't want to go there. It's in the middle of nowhere. I don't want to be there. So, and if Zach doesn't want to go, he won't go. So, you know, trying to get him moved on from here is not proven, you know, very successful. We've been advised to give a date that he has to be out by, and say we're throwing him out if he's not out by that date, and to put pressure on them. But I mean, if they find Zach a place and he doesn't want to go, then I don't know. If I force him to go, he emotionally blackmails me by saying, "You're my mum, you're supposed to love me, how can you do this to me, you're supposed to love me." And yeah, of course I love him to bits, but I've got a life as well, and while he's here, I haven't got my own life. I haven't got a life at all. I mean, okay, when he's been moved out before, any problems that he's got, he's always on the phone to me. So even when he's gone, I've got him on the phone threatening suicide and things, you know. So it's really not that easy, and I don't want to have to throw him out and make him go somewhere temporarily that he doesn't want to go. That's what I've been told to do. But can I really do that to my son? I don't know. But we can't carry on having him living here. So I'm in a bit of a dilemma at the moment. You know, what should I do? What's the best thing to do? I know what I should do. I should say, right, he's got so, you know, got to be out by so and so time, or in a month or whatever, or he'll be homeless. And I have to follow through with that, because the council will then put him somewhere, but it will be somewhere he doesn't want to be, and then he's going to blame me for it, for throwing him out, and I'm his son, you know, he's my son, I'm supposed to love him, and then I get all the emotional blackmail, and it's just not good. But on the other hand, colouring does keep me sane, I must say. It does keep me calm, and it does keep me sane. You have to sort of, I mean, I do lose it quite a lot with Zach, and I shouldn't. I should sort of try and stay calm, but it's just not that easy. It's not easy at all. So, well, we'll see how things go. So that's what's been going on in my life, really. I visited my dad yesterday. He's gone really weird in his old age. I'm with him on some things, but other things, I mean, he now believes that the world is flat. The Queen is a lizard. And all these weird things he keeps coming out with. Yeah, I believe in God, and you know, that sort of thing. I don't go to church because, like he says, a lot of the churches, they don't preach the true Bible. They sort of make up their own things as they go along. So that's why I don't go to church, and that's why he doesn't either. But he's watching YouTube, and he's believing far too many things that I don't think are true. You know, I mean, some of the things are laughable. Apparently the earth is flat, and there's a dome over the top protecting us. And the sky is not actually the sky, it's the sea. So I said, well, how come you can't see any fishes in the sky then? And he was like, well, he didn't really have an answer for that. Where does rain come from then? Oh, God makes it rain. Okay. So yeah, you know, my dad's going a bit weird since my mum's been gone. Right, let me just have a drink. I've got my cherry Pepsi Max with ice, as I usually do, which I love. Gotta have ice, gotta be mega cold. That's better. Got to be ice cold, otherwise I can't drink it. Right, we've done the light and we've done the dark. So now, between the two, we're going to do medium. And we're going to do the medium sort of blending the dark into the light, sort of, if you see what I mean. It'll become more apparent as I do more. So really just sort of either side of where I did the dark, if you do either side with this medium, the dog's under the table again, as she is. What are you doing under there, honey? So a little bit out and sort of blend it into the light parts. This isn't rocket science. This isn't how everybody does it. This is my way of doing things. You've seen how I do skin and how I do hair. Everything is just how I do it. You don't have to, do it the same as me, even if you're following along with me. You don't have to do it the same as me. If you think it would look better as another way, then yeah, go for it. Everybody has their own style, and that's what amazes me. It's a bit like handwriting. Everybody learns the same technique of how to write, but everybody's handwriting is totally different, and it's the same with colouring and drawing as well. Every artist is different as well. So, and every colourist is different. So I go over the dark bits that I've done and I bring it out a bit compared to what was there. So that's all I'm doing, is I'm just going over the dark bits and also both sides of the dark bit as well, sort of blending it in to the light area. We will go over again in light. This isn't the only layer we're going to do. So see, some of this I left because it was a little bit light. So this is going to just be done in light on its own. So we've got some bits there. Just make sure you don't miss any bits. If you see any bits like I did that are actually light compared to dark bits, you don't do dark where there isn't dark. If it's there but it's quite light, leave it for the medium colour. That's what I do. I only go over the bits that were shown in actual dark. So these bits were dark. As you can see with this pencil, it's quite short, so I am actually holding it right at the back, so you don't go too heavy-handed with it. I can be heavy-handed, I think a lot of us can be, but it's just a way, if you want to colour like this rather than heavy-handed, it's just a way of getting used to, because I now can do light colouring, holding it right next to the lead. So sort of right down here I can do really light colouring. It's just something, when I first started off I was heavy-handed. This is just something that I've sort of taught myself to do. I could have carried on being heavy. Some people are heavy and they produce marvellous pictures. But it just depends what sort of colouring you want to do and what you want to learn. So this is my choice to do light layers and layer. That's just how I choose to do it. So I've just got to make sure that none of the cats jog this camera, because it is pointing directly down, and any sort of movement on the tripod I think would, like Lily did once, completely knock it over. Flat on its face. I'm lucky it didn't break, and I've still got that. So, and Dylan's now sitting next to me here. Hopefully he'll stay there. If he does make an appearance on camera, please don't laugh. He has a very, very, very long coat, and it's like a double coat, and it mats overnight. You'll get a great big clump that's matted up. In certain places he will let me cut it out, or tease it out with my fingers. Other places he will not let you get to. He doesn't like his sides being touched, he doesn't like his legs being touched. So basically you can't do his chest or undo his chin. So a couple of times a year we have to take him to the vets, and they have to put him out because he will bite if you try to do it. He's not a vicious cat. He's, you know, he's an absolute darling little boy. But he thinks you're gonna hurt him, and he will bite. So we have to take him to the vets, and because of the cost of it, it's so expensive, and we really have to sort of, because we're on benefits, we have to save up for it. So at this time, and they sort of told us how the most expensive part is the anaesthetic, and then apart from that is 10 minutes every, or £20 every 10 minutes extra over that. And sometimes they've been trying to brush them out, and obviously that takes longer than just shaving them out. So this time we've said, look, we can't afford much, please just, you know, shave them out, don't bother brushing them, just shave them out. We don't care what he looks like, so long as he's comfortable and mat free, basically, because it must be painful for him. It pulls on his skin. So at the moment, they've left his head, so he's still got his long, as per my picture on Facebook, he's got his long sort of coated face, and then from his head down the middle of his back he looks like he's got a Mohican, because he's shaved both sides of his back, or both of his sides are shaved, but they're not shaved consistently. Some is down to the skin, some of it they've left like an inch of fur, so he looks like a complete ragtag at the moment. But he is a completely different cat when he's been to the vets. He is so I mean, he's adorable anyway. He's got the nicest personality on him, and when he's come back from the vets, and he doesn't like going, but when he comes back he just wants fuss all the time, and he'll follow you around, and if he sees you coming he'll just sit up and he'll lift one of his paws up and look at you like in such a cute way, as if to say, please make a fuss of me. And you know, you can't do nothing but make a fuss of him. He does that every time he's been shaved. He's so adorable. Obviously he's not in pain anymore, and he's so happy. And we said to the vet, you know, it doesn't matter what he looks like, so long as he's not in any pain and the mats are gone. We don't let him get that bad before we take him. We take him a couple of times a year, and it's usually sort of this time when his winter coat is still sort of trying to come out, and because he's sort of double coated and really long coated, it instead of coming out, it just completely clumps up, and then it seems to grow. Go away, fly. It seems to grow, and one mat grows into another. And it must be so painful for him, bless him. But he looks like a complete ragtag at the minute. It'll grow again. But he does look funny at the minute. But bless him, he's so happy. Every time he sees you move, he just sort of like goes where you are and sits there and lifts his paw up in such a cute way, as to say, please make a fuss of me. And he purrs so loudly. He's got such a loud purr, and he is adorable. You just can't, you know, you can't not love him. He's so pretty looking anyway, and they've left his face, so he's got his gorgeous little face still. that's why I have him as my my profile picture on Facebook, because I just can't get enough of looking at him and how beautiful he is. We've had him since he was 10 months old, and he's probably about 7 now, I think. So yeah, I mean, but I mean, when I first saw him and he was 10 months old, and I said to Tim, oh my god, look at that cat. I said, that is the most beautiful cat I've ever seen. And he was for sale because the people who bought him as a kitten didn't look after him. They let him outside, which they're supposed to be indoor cats. They let him outside, so you can imagine he was completely matted up. They didn't feed him properly, so he was really skinny. The breeder got him back and paid obviously lots of money to her vets to, you know, get him back to normal. And yeah, so, you know, and then she put him up for sale again, and we bought him half the price that, you know, she normally charges for them, or less than half price, should I say. Which, you know, I couldn't not have him. I had to have him. He was just that beautiful. Well, to me he was anyway. If you're not a cat lover, then you might think he's not beautiful. But he is to me. So I love cats and dogs. I mean, Tim's more of a cat person. He's been brought up with cats. He's never been brought up with a dog, never had a dog sort of thing. So he's more of a cat person. I was brought up with dogs, but I love both. So yeah, and my kids have always been brought up with cats and dogs. So you know, they like them both. Zach used to like cats more than dogs, and he never used to be bothered with the dog he grew up with. And then we got another dog from a rescue place, and he never bothered with her. And then she got cancer and died. And then we went to the rescue place again,